So welcome to the M.St. in Modern Languages information session. Is it actually a recording? Does it say? Yeah. So
I was about to, and this is actually being recorded.
Yeah, exactly. So great that you are listening to us. The three of us, me, I'm Henrike Lähnemann, I'm Professor of Medieval German Literature and Linguistics. Then we have Marlene Schilling, a current doctoral student who did the M.St. and eating cake is a Charlotte Copeman, a current M.St. student. So what is the function of this meeting? We'll just cover the basic, but mainly it's to get you in contact with people who are actually doing the course so that you feel comfortable coming back for more information. So the context and source of information are probably the thing you might pay most attention to. The entry requirement, as you would expect, is a good first degree in a relevant modern language. So for if you want to study German, it should be obviously German, but it could also be a number of humanities degrees that have a link to literature. You will need a proof of English language proficiency certified by a standard test, but don't worry about it too much. It can always be later entered. The thing you should start thinking about now is for references, people who know you well because you have studied with them and can testify to the quality of your work. The language of the references doesn't need to be necessarily English, just check or tell the graduate office in beforehand, because we have enough people in the relevant languages to check out. The official documents need to be in English, at least the kind of meta structure needs to be in English, not all the details necessarily. But your institution should be able to provide it. A short but aussagekräftig CV, so don't tell everything, but concentrate on skills and qualifications that are relevant for your degree. Important is your personal statement. Make clear why you really want to come to Oxford to do this. Include samples of your written work. Again, not all of that needs to be in English, just one has to be translated into English, but it's fine if you do this with a translation program or whatever, and think about things that really tell a story of your intellectual journey, also in your statement of purpose, why you want to come. The course structure consists of 4 compulsory components. So in the first 2 terms, you will do 1 special subject every term. And across the first 2 terms is a method option, so-called, that introduces you to how to approach really your topic. Something like history of the book, which is the one I happen to teach, so I'm partial to that, but it could also be history of ideas. It could be comparative study of literature. And then the final piece, which counts double and will you'll spend your whole last term working on, that is the dissertation. The course structure I've already briefly mentioned. You submit your topic in Hillary. So while you might think about submitting an idea already during Michaelmas, you can always change your idea and develop it to tie in with your real passion you develop in the first term in Oxford. Now, here's a bit more about the social life, which is as important as your academic life. You are part of two institutions while you're in Oxford. On the one hand, it's the Faculty of Medieval and Modern Languages. On the other hand, it's a college, and that's a really important part of the Oxford experience. Don't worry about which college you will end up. Most people finish being convinced that their college is the best, and that it was and it was destiny that they ended up there. If you're part of an exchange program, your college is determined by the Oxford student coming out, and you see these two people here.
Yes, we were counterparts, so I was destined to end up with Brasenose.
Everybody is.
Everybody is, definitely.
What you should know about Oxford is start writing, hit the ground running. It's a very, very intense program of 9 months, hugely enjoyable, but don't make a slow start. Really focus and treat it like a proper job where you put in the hours. Never postpone a deadline. Rather hand in some work you might not be absolutely be convinced, but keep to the pace, because that's part of your qualification in the end, that you have managed to stay on top of a heavy workload and life intervening all the time. But then you will have a unique experience of really small group learning to talk among your peers as well as with your lecturers, to be in a kind of constant intellectual conversation, to very much embrace the concept of work in progress. And that's hugely enriching also for your any future academic career you might be planning. Don't plan too much in advance, because you'll discover once you're in Oxford there is so much to explore. So taste everything in Freshers Week, test some form of sport, even if you haven't done anything before that. Go around and sample cuisine or whatever, and ask these people about a bit more about what is enjoyable to do as part of the Middlecome Room, so the community of graduate students in your college. When you are part of the exchange program, your tuition fees will be covered. You still have obviously to think about how to cover your living. So explore further options such as German sources of funding via scholarship. The DRD has just got a booster shot of money, so possibly that might be a way to do. And when you are in Oxford, don't be shy to ask for help, for money. There are an astonishing number of institutions, be it professional bodies like Women in German Studies, for example, or your college or the faculty, who are prepared, if you have a bright idea, to do a workshop, to go to a conference, to travel for work, to help you achieve that. Oxford is expensive, but being part of a college community helps, because the food in college is normally pretty good and also affordable. Also, college accommodation is on the more affordable side, so apply for that when you're applying. Start with visa applications as early as possible, but there is help at hand both at Oxford and at the German embassy for you to go through that. So sources of information. I'll leave this slide to stand. So Marlene Schilling, who is named at the bottom there, has kindly agreed to answer questions. And you can always email me, Henrike Lähnemann, or the Modern Languages Year Abroad office. So I'll upload the slides after this talk so you can look in extent at that. So the only thing that remains for me to say, we look forward to seeing and welcoming you in 2023 and 24. And I'll hand over now to Marlene and Charlotte, each to say one top tip of what would be good to know before coming to Oxford. Over to you, Marlene.
I think my top tip would be for the application as well as then for coming to Oxford is to kind of know what you want to do. Also for the application, be precise and very much link that to Oxford, while at the same time being very open to new stuff. And everyone will help you develop your research interest once you come here. But I think because the terms in Oxford tend to be very, very intense, and it's just 8 weeks, it's always good to start planning ahead and to always come in with at least some sort of plan, and then everyone else is here to help you with your plan and to go forward with that.
And my top tip would be, as mentioned earlier, to not be afraid to get in contact with everyone when you see these emails listed, to shoot people a message, people on courses you're interested in the faculty you're wanting to apply for, ask questions, start conversations. It will only help enrich your application and make it better to have made contact and sort of discussed your ideas if possible first. Yeah.
And don't be discouraged by the workload or anything else. It's an incredibly cool course and very rewarding, and it actually makes a lot of fun.
Thank you. I think very good tips.